Police Department arresting two people from New York at the Stop and Shop in Holyoke. 25-year-old Jason Johnson and 19-year-old Shaquan Madden were caught allegedly stealing more than $5,000 worth of beauty and cosmetic products. We're told when officers arrived at the Stop and Shop, they saw the suspects trying to exit the store with the merchandise that they hid and didn't pay for. Both fled from officers. One of the suspects was caught trying to get into a car, both taken into custody. Inside the suspect's car, officers found items consistent with the products they were trying to steal in several large trash bags, many of the items tagged with security tags from nearby stores in surrounding cities. Officers seized these items as suspected stolen products as part of the suspect's organized crime spree.